Hey, beautiful souls. I am Joy Giovanni, Joyful Medium, and I help people step out of overwhelm and into love through mediumship and psychic readings, as well as mentorship, and now my new podcast, Spirit Speakeasy. Today, I want to talk to you about grief and seasonal sadness. Now, this can be a bit of a taboo topic, a taboo subject that can often get swept under the rug in the spirit of not wanting to quote unquote bring other people down or be a buzzkill during what is often considered a festive time of year. But I want to talk about grief, seasonal sadness, why it's okay, and some suggestions of what to do. I also want to let you know, for what it's worth, that I love you, whether we have met in person or just online or not at all. If you're watching me even one time, there's an energetic connection, and please know that you are valuable and worthy and loved and significant in this world. Now, I want to talk a little bit about how we can slip into what in the energetic or spiritual work can be called perfect pictures. And what that means is when we have this idealized version of what we think something is supposed to look like. Now, that could be a holiday, that could be a relationship, that could be an exchange, that could be a special dinner, even. It could be anything at all that we have a preconceived notion about what a perfect version of that looks like. And sometimes we can put so much pressure on ourselves to live up to these standards, and they might not even be realistic standards. It could be a greeting card version of a holiday. I'm talking about holidays because as I'm live sharing this with you guys, we are on December 21st. We are in the very beginning. Yesterday started Hanukkah. And today is Yule. We're moving into Christmas on the 25th for those who celebrate that, Kwanzaa on the 26th if you celebrate that, and New Year's, which all of us that follow a calendar are subject to the new year. And then right around the corner in the end of January, we've got the Lunar New Year. So lots of this celebratory energy. And sometimes we can put a lot of pressure around wanting that occasion to look perfect, wanting to get the perfect gifts and be the perfect host or be the perfect guest or have the perfect conversation. And sometimes we can also measure other people by those standards. And this is why often when we're going into family visits, for example, we want other people to be the version of them that we want them to be. And the truth is, we don't know who's grieving, who's having seasonal sadness, who's having a different version of depression, perhaps clinical, perhaps temporary. We don't know other people's mental health state, nor do they know ours. And you might be the one experiencing grief and seasonal sadness or versions of them. Of course, it's a spectrum of emotions, we know, and it doesn't look the same for anyone. But they also might be experiencing things of their own. Now, one of the encouragements I want to give you is to try to release those perfect pictures, those perfect versions of storybook White Christmas, for example, where the meal has to be perfect and everything has to be perfectly timed and perfectly orchestrated with the perfect gifts, and everyone's got to be wearing the perfect thing. And your version might not be that extreme, but can you have some permission for your own mental health and for the mental health of others to just loosen the reins on that, loosen the expectations? Maybe it's just not being offended or upset if someone's gonna be late, right? We don't know what they're dealing with. It certainly is most likely not a personal attack on us if they're gonna be late, for example. Having just permission around, we don't want people to show up in ways that are going to be hurtful to others. That's not okay. We've talked in subsequent or in previous years about that. But can you have some permission to just hold people a little more loosely? And if someone is a little quieter, not forcing them to make conversation, but just letting them be in the room, a part of the event. Maybe that's what they need. Maybe that's all they can bring. And on the converse side of that, on the other side of that coin, can you give yourself permission to not have to be the entertainer? Some of us, myself included, I'm going to out myself a little bit here. Sometimes when we're feeling insecure or uncomfortable, some of us at times can slip into that role of, okay, let me be who all these people need me to be right now and put my emotions on the back burner and, spring into superhero mode of super host, for example, or hostess, and really masking our own feelings. If you're not feeling up to that, could you do a different version that doesn't put so much pressure on you, that doesn't make you feel like you're having to shove your feelings down so much? Can you have more permission around what your holidays look like, both as a guest and as a host, or as a participant, as a creator, however you participate in holidays, if at all? And if you're feeling lonely or alone, whether you're surrounded by people or not, can you have some permission to look at that through a positive lens? That maybe you need that time alone. Maybe you need some space to honor your feelings. And if you're feeling up to it, you could create a day for yourself. I've, when my kids were young and I divorced from their dad, as you guys have heard me talk about, I didn't always have them. I never had them on Christmas Day for the day. And there were times where I found a friend that also didn't have anyone to be with on Christmas, and we went to see a movie, and it was a great day, and it was fun, and we had takeout and had just a nice time. So can you just have some flexibility there? Now, one of the other things I want to bring some encouragement to is honoring your feelings. I know certainly in the Joy Soul Spa Facebook group, we talk about this often because it's important. Honoring the way we feel. Maybe this year you're just not feeling it. Maybe you're not feeling like putting on all the razzle dazzle. I'll tell you, for myself, we do a Christmas tree, and my kids and I decorated that tree this year, but I didn't put up decorations all over the house. I didn't go all out because I have a lot of things going on. As you guys know, I launched that podcast and I have a lot of things going on with work. And so for me, I had some permission for myself around just tree and stockings this year, and not going the full gamut and decorating the entire house that I know then I'm gonna have to undecorate, take down, right? So how can that look for you, where you're giving yourself permission to honor the feeling? For me, if I'm completely honest, was overwhelmed. I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed at the calendar, the schedule, the amount that I want to get done in a productive way, but also in an energetic way, plus trying to, how we all are, trying to address health and wellness and meditation and spirituality and work and all of these things at once. So for me, the emotion was overwhelm. Can you tune into, listen to, be with your primary emotion and give yourself some space to allow that emotion breathing room, to just acknowledge it, to say, okay, I'm feeling grief, I'm feeling overwhelm, I'm feeling resistance. Maybe it is for you. Maybe you're not wanting to go to some holiday events that you normally would go to, and you're feeling resistant to it. And by honoring that emotion, you could do some journaling around it if you wanted to dig a little deeper at it. But if you're not feeling up to it, honor that as well. Honor an ease with yourself and an unfolding, giving some space to whatever that emotion is, and then deciding, choosing intentionally how you're showing up for holidays, and if you're showing up at all, because there's also some permission to just not attend certain things if you're not feeling up to it. But on the opposite side of that coin, I want to talk about reaching out. So don't think I'm saying, full permission to go totally into your cave and not have any human contact, because if that's what you need, that's okay too. I want you to also consider having some permission to do less. I know we've kind of been talking about it a little bit already, but we don't always need to go full force. It doesn't always need to be every present on someone's list. It doesn't need to necessarily be every delicious treat that everyone on your guest list wants to have? Can you share some of these responsibilities and expectations somewhere else? Do you have to be the one that takes it on? Or can you state what you need from other people? Can you state, hey, I've got a lot on my plate this year. It would really be helpful and appreciate it if you could bring XYZ casserole, or if you could, help in this way, or if I just want to give you a heads up. I'm feeling really overwhelmed. I'm excited to come and have dinner, but I just want to let you know that I'm going to be leaving at 8 instead of 10. What can you do that gives you permission to do a little less if that's what you're feeling like you need this holiday season? Maybe it's sending out texts to everyone you love instead of sending out greeting cards. Where can you allow yourself permission, if you need to pull back? It doesn't mean you have to. If you are full force and loving it, then you can go with that. And maybe that's your primary emotion, and you're not resisting that, and you're just letting yourself go nuts and have a great time and decorate your house and your neighbor's house and the third house down. Maybe that's what you're vibing this season, and that's okay too, because it's about honoring how you feel, not pushing it down. And for some of us, this is usually how I am, there's an ebb and a flow. Sometimes I'm feeling really energetic and excited about the decorations and the lights and the season and the energy that's around. And sometimes I'm feeling like, where's that key to my cave? Because I need a break. And can you honor the ebb and flow? And the only way to do that is by knowing the emotion you're feeling. So again, checking in with your own emotions. The other thing that I was just talking about is reaching out if you need help. And a lot of us, especially those of us that are sensitive, are often so busy being the helper, being the advisor, being the one who's doing extra, that we often feel very uncomfortable telling people, oh, I could really use a little help with this, or admitting, oh, this is too much work for me this year. So can you allow yourself the ability, the permission, the grace, the space to reach out to others? Now, if you're the one who's struggling, who's feeling grief or seasonal sadness, certainly a lot of you are missing loved ones this time of year, can you give yourself some permission to reach out to those that are here that care about you, and not feeling like you need to take everything on your own? Even if you don't know what you need, often people that care about you are just happy to have a conversation, or are just happy to hear from you. And maybe it's not you asking them to make space in their schedule to come spend the night and have a sleepover. Maybe it's you saying, hey, I'm feeling down, or I'm missing this loved one. It would be really great if I could just have a text conversation with you throughout these next few days so I don't feel so alone. And maybe you don't even have to articulate it like that. Maybe you have friends that will just respond, but if you can let them know where you are, if you can be just a little bit vulnerable, 99% of the time, you'll give that space for spirit, God, higher power, spirit world, great spirit, whatever you like, to meet you with the love that you need, to encourage others to reach out to you, to support you, to call you. But you've got to make that first step. You've got to give that permission. You've got to articulate and let people know what's going on with you, even if it feels uncomfortable and vulnerable. If it helps you get what you need, whether that's extra connection or less to do on your plate, it's what you need to be doing. So I just want to love you and encourage you around that. And if you're feeling great this season and you're not experiencing grief or sadness, that's wonderful. But maybe someone around you is. And, there seem to always be an increase in completion of suicide this time of year, in people that we lose by suicide this time of year. It's not a popular thing to talk about, but I think mediums need to be talking about it, and we need to be encouraging people to move through that grieving process and to honor that grieving process. So something you could do whether you're feeling, a little down or okay. Obviously, if you're grieving or if you're in a tough place, get the help and assistance you need and the support that you need. But if you're in a good place, I like to just randomly reach out to friends because, as we all know, through those we've lost in the past as a collective and those we've lost privately and personally as individuals, sometimes the people that are shining their light the brightest are having the darkest times internally. So we can't always rely on if a person seems fine or if they're posting a ton on their social media and they look like they're having a great holiday season. Unless we ask them and they share with us, we don't actually know how they're feeling. So if you're feeling in a good place and you're feeling fine, I just encourage you to drop little hellos, greetings, love notes, seasonal light to friends and loved ones that you have. And it could be just a quick little photo that you send. It could be a quick video that you make. They don't care what you look like. They don't care if your hair is crazy or you're put together or you're wearing PJs. If you just leave a little voice memo, even, hey, thinking about you, love you, want to connect with you, hope you're good. It could be anything. I just want to check on you. I've been thinking about you. You've been on my mind. If someone's been on your mind. And this is where you can allow your intuition to guide you a little bit. If there's someone that just keeps springing to mind, or you keep getting reminded of memories of someone in particular or a few someones in particular, just reach out to them. Share a little love with them. Let them know that they're special, that they're valuable, that they're important to you. And also remembering that we can't be responsible for the actions of others. So if you're someone that's lost someone personal to you through completion of suicide, it's not because you didn't reach out to them. It's not because you didn't do enough for them or you weren't there for them. It's a struggle that they're going through internally. But it does sometimes help to let people know how loved they are. And just from a mediumship perspective, often people that have passed through completion of suicide will share emotions, memories, sentiments like how much it meant to them that you were always there for them, how much it meant to them that you reached out to them, how much they were loved and they had great friends and people close to them. So that love really does permeate, even when their choice is other than we might like them to choose. So in these last couple weeks of the year, can you just feel your emotions and allow them some permission, some space, some breathing room, like we were talking about, to just prepare some space in your heart, in your world, in your life for possibilities in 2023. If you're grieving or having seasonal sadness to some degree and in a tough space, sometimes it takes a little time to get some room, some space in our heart to hold the availability for potential, for possibility, for what could be. And sometimes when we're deep in our grieving process, we don't really have sight on the proverbial shoreline of possibility or what could be. We're just living in today. And if that's where you are, that's okay. But if that's not where you are, and you can move through this seasonal sadness, this grief, these feelings, whatever they are for you, can you just hold the intention gently of preparing some space in your heart for possibilities in 2023? I just want to end this talk by giving a resource. If you or anyone you know is struggling, is having suicidal thoughts, or just needs to reach out, if you are anywhere in the United States or Canada, you can dial Lifeline just by pushing 988 in your phone. You can call or you can also text message in the US and Canada 988 for Lifeline. It's a 24-hour suicide and crisis hotline. It's free, confidential, and you can share it with anyone you know and love. If you're in the UK, the crisis hotline number there is 0800, so 0800 689 5652. I hope that you all feel loved this holiday season, even if you are in a grieving process or in seasonal sadness, missing someone or feeling overwhelmed, I hope that you can just allow yourself to have ebb and flow in those emotions and honor what you need. Ask for connection, ask for help, reach out, allow others to help you if that's what you need, and just hold the intention that you're willing to gently start to open your heart to possibilities in 2023. Thanks for being here with me today. I will see you on Friday for the weekly mini reading. I want to say happy Hanukkah to those who celebrate, happy Yule. Today's the 21st. It's a big day energetically. Happy Christmas, Merry Christmas to those that celebrate this weekend. Happy Kwanzaa to those that celebrate on Monday. And I have a special podcast release for you guys on the 25th. For those of you that have agreed to do less and would like to listen to a little something, I'm releasing an episode with a medical medium who's going to give us some tips for our health and for what we need to know. Some really good and easy tips to implement. So that's going to release on Christmas morning. So if you're bored or if you want the most important tip for your health, according to a medical medium, you're going to want to check out Spirit Speakeasy. I also released an episode this week, 5 ways to feel the love of the spirit world this holiday season or anytime. So if you're missing someone and you want to connect more intentionally with them this holiday season, someone that's crossed over to the spirit world, whether you saw them recently or it's many, many years, I just wanted to share 5 ways that you can feel the love of the spirit world this holiday season. And that is already available wherever you get podcasts, iTunes, Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all the platforms. Just search Spirit Speakeasy and you can have access to all of the episodes that are already available. Lots of love. I hope you know you are worth it. You are worthy. You are truly never alone, and our love never dies. It just changes form. Big hugs. I will see you soon. Lots of love. Bye for now.